effective today, immediately today, that we have removed the interim tag off my position as head coach, and I will be the head coach for the upcoming season.
Hi everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Rebels This Week outside the Rebels office here at the NMAC Centrum. We're on Thursday afternoon. Rebels owner, president, general manager Brent Sutter confirmed to everybody what was more or less speculated since the end of last season, that Brent himself will be the head coach of this Red Deer Rebels hockey club next season.
You know, there needed to be change, and and with that, when you start implementing it, I just didn't think after you thought it through properly, and like I said, talking to Jeff and talking to our front office staff, people and the staff, and with some players at the end of the season in our exit meetings, the right thing to do was to return as head coach.
In addition to Brent removing the interim tag from his head coaching title, Jeff Truitt has signed a multi-year extension to remain on board as associate coach.
Jeff being around now, being here for a year, see how it works, he knows what my expectations are, knows how we want to play, he does know what our identity is and what we want to continue to grow to be.
There will also be a new face behind the Rebels bench next season, as the club has hired assistant coach Steve O'Rourke. He was an assistant with the Abbotsford Heat of the American Hockey League from 2009 to 2011. He also played in the Dub from 91 to 94 with Tri-City and Moose Jaw. The remainder of the Rebels coaching staff will be back once again next season, including strength and conditioning coach Al Parada, goaltending consultant Brent Balicki, video coordinator Craig Kinney, and mental performance consultant Derek Robinson. Also, Davis Claffey will return for a second year in the Rebels front office. He gets the new title of assistant to general manager. And Dave Radar Horning has signed an extension to remain with the Rebels. He takes on the new role as equipment manager. The Rebels also hiring a new athletic therapist, Jordan Obey. He formerly worked with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers of the CFL and the NHL's Winnipeg Jets. And another familiar face we've come to know and love around the Rebels office, Michael McIver. You can be darn sure he'll be back for another season. Now, we mentioned a couple of new faces that will be on the Rebels staff for the 2013-14 season. That obviously means a couple of old faces won't be here this fall. Bryce Toma is no longer the assistant coach for this hockey club. That was a mutual decision between Bryce and Brent Sutter earlier this month. He had been on the Rebels coaching staff since 2008 and was head coach of Team Alberta at last year's Western Canada U16 Challenge Cup. Toma also played 4 seasons with the Rebels from 99 to 2003 and is a 2001 Memorial Cup champion. But it certainly didn't take Bryce long to land on his feet, as earlier on Thursday, he was officially unveiled as the new head coach for the Weyburn Red Wings of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League. We congratulate Bryce on his new gig and wish him and his family all the best. Another familiar face who won't be back next season, athletic therapist Terrence Robertson. Terrence had been with the Rebels since 2004 and is leaving after this month's prospects camp. He'll still be around Red Deer, though, as he heads over to work at Collegiate Sports Therapy. On May 5th, the Rebels took part in the 2013 WHL Bantam Draft. The Rebels had the 14th overall pick in the first round, and they stayed close to home with it, selecting Red Deer's very own Jeff DeWitt. The 6'2" forward collected 18 goals and 24 assists for 42 points in 26 games last year at the Bantam AAA level with the Red Deer Rebels Black.
Jeff has been part of here, he's been part of it. He's worked here for us as as the dressing room and attendant, so he understands. I know Jeff well, I know his family well, so it's a good fit for us. But he's one piece of it.
In the second round, the Rebels were very excited to select Joshua Mahura, 36th overall, a defenseman and a St. Albert native.
The Mahura boy is a heck of a hockey player too, and we're very thrilled and excited we were able to have him available to us in the second round, because we never thought in 100 years he'd still be there for us. And our goal going into the draft was that we wanted to get a center iceman. It was something that I talked to our scouts back in January about, that we needed to add another forward and we need to add another centerman, and if we can add someone that had some skills and size and skate, that would be the right fit.
Here's the rest of the Rebels 2013 Bantam draft class, including Caleb Reese, Nick Darling, Cale Chalifo, Joshua Logel, Max Salpeter, Tyler Kirkup, and Kyle Sargent. Not long after Bantam Draft Day, the Rebels pulled the trigger on a deal with the Vancouver Giants, sending them center Joel Hamilton. In exchange, the Rebels get Vancouver's third-round pick in next year's Bantam Draft. The Rebels suddenly find themselves with depth at center, and unfortunately, Joel was the odd man out. He collected 14 goals and 43 assists for 57 points in 114 career games with the Rebels. Some fantastic news for Patrick Bartosak, as earlier this month, he was named as the Western Hockey League's Goaltender of the Year.
The recipient of the Western Hockey League Goaltender of the Year award from the Red Deer Rebels, Patrick Bartosak.
And with good reason. Bartosak was without question the Rebels MVP of the season, playing in 55 games, posting a 33-14-5-0 record with a sparkling 2.26 goals against average, a league-leading .935 save percentage. He also had 5 shutouts, and as we all know, he was 8 for 8 in shootouts. Hopefully, those numbers translate into good news for Patrick at the upcoming NHL entry draft. He is now ranked 8th overall amongst North American goaltenders. The draft takes place June 30th at New Jersey. So with all that taken care of, the Rebels now getting ready for their annual prospects camp at the end of this month. Each spring, the club brings in its top prospects, including the draft class from this year and last, to get a first-hand look at their current status and what they may or may not need to work on heading into this fall's training camp. The prospects camp will take place May 31st through June 2nd. Ice times will be posted on the Rebels website. And we will be on scene at least once from the Rebels Prospect Camp when it takes place starting May 31st, so tune into rebelsthisweek.com for all the excitement from there. In the meantime, thanks for making some time for us here in the middle of May. Have fun watching the Memorial Cup, should be a good one, and we'll see you next time.